Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. So, this is the August 2024 monthly astro forecast for the sign of Leo. Now, this video is definitely for Leo rising. However, if you are a Leo sun, feel free to watch the video as well. And as always, if you are cross watching for that special Leo in your life, then you've definitely come to the right place. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so let's begin with a brief overview of the energy for the month. However, before I get into all the juicy details, I want to wish all of my August Leos a happy birthday. I sincerely hope that this new revolution around the sun brings you everything that your heart truly desires and that you have great health, wealth, joy, abundance, love, and continued blessings. It is still your season, my love, so you know what to do. Definitely live it up. All right. And so, August. So, during the month of August, the sun begins in your sign of Leo and then moves into the sign of Virgo. So, during the month of August, you have an emphasis on your first house of self and your second house of money. So, of course, while the sun is still in Leo, it is still your season. So, it's really time for you to celebrate yourself. It's really time for you to be self centered. It's really time for you to have fun and let your inner child out to play. Typically, we tend to be a lot more dynamic, a lot more magnetic when we have our solar return or where the sun is in our first house. And for you, Venus is also still in your first house. So you are magnetizing people, you're drawing people to you. You have this allure and this beauty to you that's really beautiful since it is still your season. So definitely take advantage of that, honey. I know you guys and I love you guys. I love Leo energy. And I feel like you guys are one of the signs that will celebrate all season. So even if you're a July Leo, I feel like you are, still celebrating into August. So again, live it up. Now, everything having to do with self is really a focus on your heart because Leo energy is heart centered. So, not only are you feeling the feels, not only is romance and your ideas about romance and love highlighted while the sun is in Leo, it's also about being your authentic self. Sort of taking your rightful place on the throne and shining as only you know how. And then again, most importantly, Leo season is about having fun. So enjoy it while it lasts. We're sort of getting to the tail end of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. And by the time the sun moves into Virgo, things are going to get a little more serious, right? Leo is when our inner child comes out to play. Virgo is when our adult shows up. And so when the sun moves into Virgo, this is going to highlight your second house of money and material possessions. At this time, it's going to be all about money matters, right? Securing the bag, getting that dough, however you want to call it, right? It's all about money. Not just money though, like in terms of your job or making money. This could be about savings, this could be about investing, this could be about your assets, your possessions, and also the values that you have in your life and what you deem valuable in your life. Now, Virgo, not necessarily the sexiest of energy. It's very adulting, right? It's very making order out of chaos. And so when the sun is in Virgo, the best use of the energy for you in particular is getting your finances in order. Maybe that's going through statements and see where you are leaking money. Maybe it's going through your investments and seeing how much you're actually getting paid, right? Making order out of your financial chaos is a great way to use the sun in Virgo energy. And also being of service. Virgo is a sign of service. And so if you're looking to add more money to your life, right? If you're looking to increase your bottom line, maybe it's time for you to be more of service, especially like if you're a business owner. Maybe this is the time to add more services or highlight services within your business that can help increase your finances. All right. So to recap, we start off the month having fun, being Leo, being us, getting the residuals of our birthday stuff, right? We're still getting money, cards, going out, having fun, all that great stuff. And it's a focus on us, our hearts, and shining as our authentic selves. And then come Virgo season, it's all about that money, how to get it, how to keep it, how to invest it, and how to make order of it. All right. So that's what you have to look forward to in the month of August. So now let's get into the specifics of the astrology for the month. All right. So we start things off with the new moon of the month, which is going down in your sign of Leo. And this is happening in your first house of self. So you know the deal. New moons are all about setting new intentions and planting new seeds. And with this new moon going down in your sign in your first house, this is the time when you want to plant seeds of personal goals. So anything that you wish to accomplish, right? That's personal to you. Because the first house also has to do with our bodies. So if you are looking to change your appearance, if you're looking to gain weight, lose weight, all of that stuff, you want to plant that seed at this new moon. Now, what I love about Leo energy is that it's warm, it's heart centered, and it's childlike. So have fun with this new moon. Whatever rituals you're doing, whatever seeds you're planting, do it in a fun and creative sort of way. And whatever you're trying to manifest at this new manifestation cycle should be something that's really a reflection of who you truly are or what you truly desire. Next, we have Venus moving into Virgo, and this is your second house of money and material possessions. So at this time, money is really going to become a thing, right? Something that you may be focused on because Venus rules money and it's in your house of money. So money making opportunities, relationships that yield money, right? And I'm not talking about like necessarily getting into a relationship with someone that has money, but like business relationships, transactional relationships may be highlighted when Venus is in Virgo. Now, remember that Venus rules relationships, it rules money, but it also rules fairness. And since Virgo is a sign of service, it's like make sure that whatever services you are providing, you're being properly compensated for. And make sure that these transactions involving money are equitable and fair to everyone involved. Now, Venus in Virgo also has this energy undertone of contracts, specifically contracts involving money. So make sure that those are fair, that they make sense, and that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Okay. And this is going to be equally important because next up, we've got Mercury going retrograde in Virgo. This is all about reviewing and revising contracts, specifically contracts that have to do with money. So again, you're going to want to go through these contracts with a fine-tooth comb, not only to make sure that they're equitable and fair, but that they still make sense to you. So this is definitely a great time to do that. This may also be a time where you revisit perhaps business partnerships. Maybe you want to revisit an old job or an old service that you used to provide. There may be opportunities there for you when it comes to making money. Thereafter, Mercury is going to retrograde back into your first house of Leo. And basically, this is going to be an opportunity for you to really do some reflecting on yourself, on your life. It's a very contemplative type of transit, right? We have the usual Mercury retrograde foolishness where your electronics malfunction, there's delays, there's obstacles, all that kind of stuff. However, the best use of Mercury retrograde is to be intentional. And with Mercury being a planet of ideas and communication, and Mercury retrograde in Leo is your first house, this is reviewing things, whether it's goals, whether it's lessons that you've learned. Take the time to be intentional about going within and sort of getting your mind right. That's the best use of Mercury retrograde in Leo for you. Thereafter, we have the full moon of the month, which is going down in the sign of Aquarius, and this is your seventh house of relationships. Now, full moons signify culmination or illumination. So, when it comes to a committed relationship, whether it's personal, romantic, or whether it's business, maybe you're moving things to a new level, maybe a certain phase of the relationship has ended and now you're moving on to something else with this partner. That could be the culmination side of things. On the illumination side of things, all of your relationship issues, situations, everything having to do with your committed partnerships is going to come to light. Now, Aquarius is a sign that's an air sign, right? So it has to do with thinking, creating a master plan, but it's also about improving and innovating. And so whatever comes to light at this full moon will likely show you what you need to improve on in your committed relationships. So it may not feel the best in the moment. However, this information is going to be super valuable to you because whatever you're seeing, you're going to be able to tweak and you're going to be able to fix even so that going into the future, you have a better or perhaps even more efficient committed relationship. Thereafter, we have the sun moving into Virgo, which is going to highlight your second house. And it's all about money matters for you at this time. So the second half of the month, money rules everything, money over everything, right? So this is the time to get your financial life in order and to make sense of your financial situation. Thereafter, we have Mercury going direct in Leo in your first house. So, when Mercury was retrograde, you were thinking, you were reviewing, remembering, really going within and reflecting on lots of things, right? When Mercury finally goes direct, it's time for you to act on everything. It's time for you to move forward and express yourself. Now, the first house is very much the house of expression. And so while Mercury is retrograde, you may find it hard to express yourself authentically, or maybe you feel like you're even muted in a sense, like you can't necessarily say exactly what you want to say. However, when Mercury goes direct in Leo in your first house by the end of the month, you'll find that expressing yourself becomes a lot easier and you can finally get some things off your chest. And then finally, we close out the month with Venus moving into the sign of Libra, and this is your third house of ideas and communication. Now, Venus is at home in Libra, so the energy is really, really potent. So, when it comes to learning specific things, that's what the third house covers. You may want to learn specific things with respect to money, right? It could be investing, it could be, real estate development, anything, any sort of specific skill related to money. When Venus moves into Libra, it'll be a great time to do that. Also, you may find someone who can teach you these things, or maybe you're teaching other people these things. Take it as it resonates. But also, Venus rules relationships. And when we're talking about the third house, the relationships that come up are your relationships with your siblings, your relationship with your neighbors, or people in your immediate vicinity. So with Venus in Libra, these relationships are going to become highlighted and emphasized. But most importantly, it's not just about the relationships themselves. It's sort of what you're getting out of them. Venus is all about equality, right? And balance. Are these relationships balanced? Are you giving too much? Are you taking too much? These are the issues that are going to be highlighted when Venus moves into Libra. All right. So that is the astrology for the month of August. So now let's get into some important dates within August that you will want to pay attention to. All right. So, as a Leo rising, your chart ruler and the most important planet to you is the sun, right? So, anything that the sun is doing currently in the sky and anything that the sun is doing in your natal chart is always going to be of utmost importance to you. So, that being said, the following dates represent the important transits of the sun throughout the month of August. So, first, we want to highlight August 1st, and that is when the sun will trine the north node. This is having like clarity and definiteness, if that's a word, of purpose, understanding why you're here, what you're supposed to be doing, and that purpose being revitalized, right? The sun is still going to be in your first house. So this is like, it's almost going to feel like a rebirth to you. And it's going to become quite clear which direction you're headed. And if you're not quite sure what that direction is, you'll definitely know, because wherever you're headed, that's not in the right direction, you'll definitely feel it. So pay attention to what pops up and where you're guided to go on or around that date. Next up, you will want to pay attention to August 4th. This is when we have the new moon in Leo. This is when the sun and moon are conjunct, and they're going to be conjunct in your sign. So again, August, the beginning of August while the sun is still in Leo, is very much like a rebirth for you. It's still your season. It's when you start a new revolution around the zodiacal wheel. And new moons are all about planting new seeds and setting new intentions. So that's exactly what you're going to want to do at this new moon. Thereafter, you're going to want to pay attention to August 7th. This is when the sun will sextile Jupiter. The sun will be in your first house. Okay. And Jupiter is in Gemini, which is going to be in your 11th house. So opportunities to express yourself, opportunities to step into a leadership position may present themselves, particularly as it relates to your friends, your associations, the groups that you belong to. Like there's this element of standing out and expansion when it comes to your groups, your associations, and even your ambitions. Some of you may have not only a renewed sense of purpose, but you may also, like your dreams may get bigger. opportunities to think and dream bigger may present themselves on or around that date. And then finally, you're going to want to pay attention to August 18th. This is when the sun will conjunct Mercury, which is also known as a Mercury cazimi. And this is going to happen in your first house because I believe the sun will still be in Leo at this time. Sun conjunct Mercury, it is, clear communication, the ability to express yourself effortlessly, shining and being unique in your ideas and your communication is definitely going to be a thing for you. If you need to speak up about something, you're definitely going to want to do it around August 18th. All right, so now let's get into a brief message for you from Spirit for the month of August. All right, my loves. So, the card that I pulled for you for August is the card entitled The Gatekeeper. It's number 4. It's associated with Aries and it is akin to the Emperor card in the Tarot. And this is very fitting for you because Aries is also a fire sign. The Emperor is the King of Kings, right? So, that's definitely right up your alley. And there's something about being strategic in moving forward that's going to be very important. Now, the one thing I will say is that Aries energy is known to be combative. And I feel like this movement forward, it's not going to be full of conflicts, but I feel like after this whole Mercury retrograde situation in your sign of Leo, in your first house, I feel like you're almost going to get your voice back. I feel like you're going to be really get things off your chest and really say things with your chest, all right? And that may rub people the wrong way. And you shouldn't really care about that, right? Because certain things need to be said. Now, you don't need to be a dick or anything like that, but being truthful is going to help you moving forward. That's one. The second message that I'm getting with this card is that Mercury retrograde period for you, again, that's going down in your first house, there's really this element of sort of recalibration. Maybe you're changing the way that you think. Maybe you're changing your perspective on things. And so moving forward, it's like you have to sort of craft a new strategy. Maybe how you approached things last year or in past years didn't necessarily work for you. Maybe you didn't get the outcomes that you had hoped for. Allow this new moon in Leo with this Mercury retrograde in Leo to give you a rebirth of sorts. It's sort of like about rewiring your brain to do things differently, to believe things differently, to have a different perspective. And that's what's going to help your life change going forward. But you have to be not only intentional about it, but strategic. And what I mean by strategic is, a lot of people tend to think that when you're undergoing healing, when you're moving through the spiritual journey, you don't encounter the same things anymore. And to an extent, that's true. However, what oftentimes happens is that you encounter the same situations, but you don't see them the same way anymore, nor do you deal with them in the same way. So the same situation come back around, and for the longest time, you treated it the same way. You saw it the same way. Once you change your perspective, once you change your beliefs, once you, sort of rewire your brain, the same situation comes back around, but you see it completely differently and you're able to move past it faster and like more efficient. And that's what I see happening for you this month. Once August is over, I feel like the moves that you make going forward are going to be perhaps better than the moves that you made in the past because you are going to be a different person. And I really like that for you. But again, it's going to require you to be intentional and to be strategic. All right, my loves. So that concludes this video on the August 2024 monthly astro forecast for the sign of Leo. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important piece of information that you can use going forward. All right. Now, for information on my products and services, all of that is in the description box below. Okay. And being that it's the Leo season, you guys might want to take advantage of my service called the birthday card, and that's the solar return reading. It basically forecasts the upcoming year for you from birthday to birthday. People seem to really like it because it sort of gets you prepared with respect to what themes are going to show up in your life. All right. So it's really insightful and can really help you prepare again for the year ahead. If you're interested, the link will be in the description box below and will also be tagged to this video. All right, my loves, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you nothing but the absolute best for August and beyond, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.